Hello, my name is Gary, and I was raised in the Western United States, so I'm a native English speaker. I hope that you will enjoy this YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us.
The 38 Letters from J D Rockefeller to His Son by J D Rockefeller, 1839 to 1937. The 19th letter, Be the First, March 15th, 1931. Dear John, a man without ambition does not achieve great things. This is a secret of success that my car king friend, Mr. Henry Ford, confided to me when he came to see me yesterday. I really admire this rich man from Michigan. He is a persistent and determined guy. He had almost the same experience as me. He worked as a farmer, worked as an apprentice, and co-founded a factory. Through his struggles, he eventually became one of the richest people in America during this era. In my opinion, Mr. Ford is the founder of a new era. No other American was able to change the American way of life as completely as he did. Just look at the cars on the street, and you will know that I am not praising him, as he has transformed the car from a luxury item to a car that almost everyone can afford, and those miracles turned him into a billionaire. Of course, he also made my purse puff up a lot. A man must have a goal or ambition to live. Otherwise, he is like a ship without a rudder that drifts forever and only reaches the beach of disappointment, failure, and frustration. He wants to create a world where everyone can enjoy the car. It seems unbelievable, but he succeeded. He became the master of the global car market and makes an incredible profit for Ford. According to this guy, that's not making cars, that's printing money. It's not difficult for me to imagine Ford's happy mood when he is both rich and famous as the king of cars. Ford's achievements prove one of my life beliefs. Wealth is proportional to purpose. If you have big ambitions and lofty goals, your mountain of wealth will rise to the sky. If you just want to get by, then you will only be a generation of rats and achieve nothing. Even if wealth is close to you, you can only receive very little. Before Ford's success, there were many car manufacturers that were more powerful than him, but many of them went bankrupt. People are created with a purpose. One is either planning to succeed or planning to fail. This is the experience of my life. I never seemed to lack ambition since I was very young. Becoming the richest person has always been my ambition and dream. This seems a little too big for a poor boy, but I think a goal should be great because to be successful, you have to be stimulated, and a great goal can give you all the power and stimulation. Losing stimulation means no longer having the strength to push you forward. Don't make small plans because it doesn't inspire the mind. I remind myself often, of course, the chance to be great doesn't fall like a rushing Niagara waterfall that's slowly drop by drop. The difference between greatness and smallness is the realization that if you expect greatness, you must work toward it every day. But for a poor boy, how could this great dream become a tangible reality? Is it by working hard for others? This is a stupid idea. I believe that working hard for yourself will make you rich, but I don't believe that working hard for others will definitely lead to success. Before moving into the ranks of millionaires, I found that many poor people around me were the hardest working people. The reality is so cruel that very few people become rich working for their bosses, no matter how hard they work. The salary earned by working for the boss can only keep the employee surviving. Although employees may make a lot of money, it is still difficult to become rich. I have always regarded working hard will make you rich as a lie, and never regarded working for someone else as the best way to accumulate significant wealth. On the contrary, I strongly believe that working for yourself can make you rich. Every action I have taken is in line with my big dream. When I left school and looked for a job, I set a goal for myself to enter a first-class company and become a first-class employee. Because the first-class company gave me first-class experience, shaped my first-class abilities, and also allowed me to earn a good salary, which was capital to create my future career, and all of those were definitely the strongest foundation on my road to success. Of course, Working in a big company allowed me to think in a way of a big company, which was very important. Therefore, I admired big companies and I wanted to go to famous companies. This definitely made me miserable. The first time I went to a bank, I had bad luck first and was rejected. I went to a railway company but still came home in a hurry, and the weather seemed to be against me, and the heat was unbearable, but despite everything, I continued my search. In those days, looking for a job was my only occupation. Every morning at 8 a.m., I dressed as neatly as possible and left my place to start a new round of interview appointments. For 4 weeks, I ran through the listed companies and found nothing. This looks bad, doesn't it? But no one can stop you from moving forward. The biggest person holding you back is yourself. You are the only one who can do it forever. I told myself, if you don't want others to steal your dreams, stand up as soon as you stumble by setbacks. I was not depressed or discouraged. The constant setbacks strengthened my determination. I started again one by one, and some companies even rejected me 2 or 3 times. God never abandoned me, and this persistent job-seeking journey finally came to an end. 6 weeks later, September 26, 1855, I was hired by the Hewitt-Tuttle Company. This day seemed to decide everything in my future. To this day, whenever I ask myself what would have happened if I hadn't gotten that job, I often shudder because I know what that job gave me and what would have happened if I had lost it. So all my life, I've celebrated September 26th as a day of rebirth, and I feel more emotional than my birthday. Writing this, I also feel emotional. A person is like a bicycle in function. Unless you move forward and toward your goal, you will stumble and fall.
3 years later, I left Hewitt-Tuttle with abilities and confidence beyond ordinary people and co-founded Clark Rockefeller with Mr. Clark and started the history of working for myself. The feeling of being your own boss is wonderful. It cannot be described in words. Of course, I didn't bask in the triumph of being a boss at 18. I told myself my future depends on the days that pass, and I end up being the richest man in America, and I'm not far off. There is still a long way to go, and I have to keep working hard for myself. Being the richest person is the basis for my efforts and the strength to motivate myself. Over the past few decades, I have been a believer in the pursuit of excellence, and I have often been motivated by one sentence: no one remembers who came in second. If you understand that, you'll think it's no surprise that I rule the oil industry as the undisputed king. Each of us lives in hope, but I live more in achieving goals. My goal in life is to be number one, and this is also the life plan that I have tried to set and follow. All my efforts and actions are loyal to my goals and life rules. God gave us smart minds and strong muscles, not to make us losers, but to make us great winners. 20 years later, a federal court dissolved our big happy family, but every time I think about what I created, I get excited. A great life is the process of conquering excellence. We must move towards this goal without fear of pain, with a firm attitude and a willingness to stumble on the long road. Love your father.